Hey, all you experts out there, this is the Monetize Your Expertise podcast, where we show you how to use your skills to pay the bills. Have you ever wanted to create a business that positions you as the industry leader and go-to expert? Join me every week to hear from amazing leaders and entrepreneurs who have successfully refined their skills in order to become experts and create extremely profitable knowledge businesses. To find all of the links and tools mentioned in this episode, just go to myepodcast.com. I'm your host, Grant Weherley, the online course guy, helping you every week to monetize your expertise. Hey, podcast listeners. Today I want to show you how it's much easier than you probably think to launch your first high-end course. I think a lot of people view the framework for how to do that as extremely complicated or difficult to do, but it actually can be quite simple in terms of the overall strategy. Now, you might have heard about Jeff Walker's product launch formula or similar frameworks for launching new online products. And so I want to distill down for you the main process for you in this episode today and share with you how I personally use this type of process for online courses. Now, I want to give credit to the main guys who've probably been doing this kind of thing for decades. I use my own version of this process, but I do draw a lot of inspiration from them and definitely didn't create this from scratch. So big thanks to them. But let's go through the details in this short episode of how this kind of thing works. And I also want to make sure you understand the process as a whole, because I see a lot of people making mistakes with this and skipping this process or kind of going about it the wrong way. So here's how you can pre-launch a high-end course in 9 steps. Now, this is a method of how you can pre-sell a course before you even build it, and what I often do for myself and clients for self-hosted courses, as it prevents the problem of building something that nobody really wants. So step 1 is to survey your current audience about their biggest current problems. If you don't have an audience or email list, don't worry, stick around till the end. I'll share with you some resources that will show you how to get started from scratch with this. So again, step 1 is to survey your current audience. Step 2 is to pick the 3 most common themes from those responses. Step 3 is to interview 5 respondents of your survey. And you can even frame it as a free consultation to help them to give value back to your audience. And you can use this to dive deep and decide which direction to go for the course. So you should have had 3 general ideas, and through these interviews, you should decide which is the best bet. Now you officially have your course topic. Step 4 is to break down the topic into 8 to 12, roughly, subtopics based on the problems and desires described in the survey responses. So basically what you've done at this step, by now you've reverse engineered what your audience and your target market, what they want, they're telling you in these survey responses and these interviews. You've broken it down into subtopics, which allow you to make individual modules. And now step 5 is to create a webinar registration page. Or you can even do this through Periscope as well to do something similar. Now, the page should be a landing page which talks about the number 1 biggest problem or desire based on the topic that you picked. And again, you can get this from the interviews and from the survey responses. The number 1 biggest problem that's really bugging people, or the number 1 thing that they really want to achieve. And a quick side note on this is that you can use lead pages or optimized press or ClickFunnels or what have you. There's a lot of different software that allows you to really quickly, easily create webinar registration pages. So number 6 is to email your current list to get them to sign up for this webinar or attend the Periscope. Easy enough, right? Now, step number 7 is to supplement this with Facebook ads, because there's a good chance, unless you're already pretty good at email marketing and you've got a solid list, you might have trouble filling up your webinar or getting a bunch of people on your Periscope. So supplementing your email blast with some Facebook ads, that's a really great way to increase overall attendance and overall people who will get exposure to your course offer. Now, as another side note, Lead Pages actually has some great free training on Facebook ads. And I think they even discuss a bit about how to use this for webinars as well. So go to myepodcast.com/launch for the show notes. I link to their free course. It's really high quality, which is surprising because it's free. So to recap, again, step number 7 is to supplement your email blast about this webinar, which is about the topic that you've reverse engineered. Supplement that with Facebook ads to ensure the maximum number of people attend the webinar. Now, number 8 is to actually run the webinar, or again, the Periscope, and pitch your course at the end of the webinar. Now, again, you've already given them value. You've shown that you're an expert. You've talked about their number one biggest problem or desire. Now, at the end of the webinar, you tell them, hey, I've got this awesome offer coming up, this course that I'll be going through and releasing starting next week. Now, again, I know you haven't actually built it. Don't worry, because step number 9 is to actually run the course and run it live to all of these new customers that you have because they signed up through your webinar. And you do it through a live weekly call based on those 8 to 12 subtopics that you broke down from your core topic and what you got from your survey responses. Now, one thing to note is that you should make sure to record these live calls. And again, you can sort of run them essentially as webinars, just to your current customers. You record these live calls, and now you have your first course that you were actually paid to create, because now you have all these 8 to 12, roughly hour-long videos, and then you can throw in some supplementary materials, and you were paid to create this course, and it was validated before you even launched it. Great stuff, right? So the most amazing thing is that if this launch process flops, you wasted 0 time on creating a product that nobody wants, because you've validated that people want it, that people are willing to pay for it before you really wasted much of any time at all. Now, of course, of those 9 steps, there's tons of additional details about how to do this and the best practices of emailing your list for a webinar, or how to hold an effective webinar, or how to use retargeting ads to cheaply increase your email list and the attendance, how to price the course, how to use tools. There's all kinds of different additional details. So I don't want to shortchange you and say, oh, that's it. Now you know everything you need to know, of course. But this hopefully explains to you the overarching framework of how to think about launching a new online course, because too many people try to build something that they want to create because they like it, because they're interested in it, and they build it and then nobody wants it. And this helps you get around that problem. Because with this framework, you're pretty much guaranteed to either succeed or learn enough from the first cheaply failed launch to revise and then succeed the next time around. And you've done this as fast and efficiently as possible. So again, there are more details about how to actually go through this process, and I've made a free video series for you that walks you through all of the details that I didn't have a chance to get with you today, because I like to keep these episodes short and sweet and to the point. So make sure to go to myepodcast.com/launch to get all of the insider info and be able to sign up to that free video series, which will walk you through more about this launch process for courses, as well as the best practices of making amazing course content, and also even doing awesome stuff like making sure your content's sticky. There's a lot of good stuff for that free video series. So again, make sure to go to myepodcast.com/launch, and thanks again for listening. Hey entrepreneurs and experts, I just wanted to thank you for listening to this episode, and I hope you learned at least one new big idea that helps you evolve your skills and gets you closer to monetizing your expertise and creating that successful knowledge business. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on iTunes and Stitcher, and check out myepodcast.com for all episodes as well as the tips and tricks mentioned in this episode. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.